Konami has done something very crazy that might shock you to your very core. What is it, you may ask? The answer is simple. They just unveiled some brand new, get this, fairy tale support. You heard me right. Fairy tale is getting new support. And it's kind of crazy because Fairy Tale Snow has been banned, excuse me, for quite some time now. And the fact that we're getting how many new cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new cards for this archetype is kind of crazy. And it's gonna tie into a question that has been asked for a long time, which is the question of, will Fairy Tale Snow come back off the ban list? We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna get straight into it. So kicking these off, we've got Fairy Tale Match Lily. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm probably butchering the name, but it is okay. There's the artwork. And it is a 4-star light spellcaster with 1850 attack, 1000 defense, and all 3 of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, if a spellcaster with 1850 original attack is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or grave. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except spellcasters. Second effect reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Fairy Tale spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Third effect reads, you can pay 500 life points. The name of 1 effect monster your opponent controls becomes Fairy Prince. Okay, so here's the thing, right? The funny thing about this is that the Charmers have 1850 attack, and the fact that you can use the Charmers with the Fairy Tale archetype is kind of scary. And what's cool about this is that it's literally a Cyber Dragon as long as you have a spellcaster with 1850 attack. So, for example, if I can, here we are. I think it's in here. Yes, I believe so. This is my sharks. Yeah. So to give you a good example, I have this a secret rare area of the water charmer gentle that I traded for this past Sunday at Bear Cave. Shout outs to them. This has exactly, if I can try and zoom it, if I can put it in focus. I don't think I can. I don't think I can put it in focus. Yeah, I don't think I can put it in focus, but obviously you guys can clearly see it's got 1850 attack. So if you have this on board, you can literally special summon this card from your hand, and it would just be fine. It would be perfectly fine. And what's cool about this is that that's actually really cool. I almost forgot. I got this from King Fandom. Collected rare crystal shark, kind of cool. Yeah. So shark deck incoming. Not sure when exactly, but I am gonna be trying to build it, so it's gonna be pretty cool to do. Anyway. So if you have a Charmer on board with 1850, with exactly 1850 attack, which it can literally be any Charmer. It could be area, it could be dark, it could be anything. You special summon this card. You special summon this card from your hand, and then you get to trigger its second effect, where on summon you can add any fairy tale spell or trap to your hand, which could literally be it could be the new field spell, it could be the new quick play spell, it could be the new equip spell, it could literally be anything, and literally it's just absolutely sick. It's just absolutely insane. And because that the and because that you can also use the familiar possessed monsters in this deck, if you have a familiar possessed Lina, and let's say this card this card on board, you can go into a rank 4 right off the bat, which is nuts. Speaking of level 4s, next up we've got Weaver of Fairy Tale Tales, which honestly is kind of cute. It kind of gives off it kind of gives off the vibes of a Pocket Theory Diaries, I think it's called. I haven't seen that anime yet, but I am going to be watching it relatively soon. I haven't seen that anime yet, but it is a 4-star Earth Spellcaster fusion with 1850 attack, 1000 defense, and requires a Fairy Tale monster plus a Spellcaster. And the first effect is a once per turn, which reads, during your main phase, you can special summon a Fairy Tale monster from your deck or banishment. Second effect reads, if you normal or special summon a non-Earth Fairy Tale monster while this monster is on the field, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and its name becomes Fairy Prince. Third effect reads, any Fairy Prince on the field becomes a spellcaster. So this is literally like DNA surgery on a 4-star bot, like on a 4-star fusion body, which this card plus Match Lily, you can easily go into a rank 4. There are so many possibilities that they can do with this card, but you basically get the opportunity to during your main phase, whether it's your main phase 1 or your main phase 2, you can special summon any Fairy Tale from your deck just right off the bat. So hypothetically speaking, let's say Fairy Tale Snow did come off the ban list, right? And you attempt to use its effect. If your opponent uses Call By on Fairy Tale Snow, then you can use this card's effect in a new chain to resummon Snow, and now your opponent is just like, what the fuck do I do? So in that scenario, Call By the Grave doesn't really do jack shit. No hand trap in the game will be able to stop the summon of Fairy Tale Snow unless if you have Valor in hand, unless if they have Valor, Imperm, or Forbidden Droplet, or Forbidden, I think it's Forbidden Chalice. I think it's Forbidden Chalice. Any of those 4 will do it. 100%. Any of those 4 will do it. You can also use Fiendish Chain, which is kind of slow in today's meta. But back in the day, Fiendish Chain was kind of cracked. But next up, we've got Chronicler of Fairy Tale Tales. This is actually super cute. That right there just gives off waifu vibes. This actually is super cute. Oh my god. This literally gives off female protagonist vibes. Let's see here. So Chronicler is a 4-star Earth Spellcaster fusion with 1850 attack, 1000 defense, and requires a light Fairy Tale monster plus a Spellcaster. The first and third effects are both once per turn. The first effect reads, if this card is fusion summoned using Fairy Prince as material, you can destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to them for each. Second effect, your fairy tale monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Third effect reads, when your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can banish one fairy tale card from your hand or grave except fairy tale tails, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So this is basically Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Solemn Judgment, and Battle Phase Protection all rolled up into one single level 4 fusion, which is honestly kind of busted. So you can literally use Fairy Tale Snow. Excuse me. So theoretically speaking, you can go. You can play X fusion card. To send Snow plus I'll say Familiar Possessed Lina to your grave. Boom. This card's on board. This card right here is on board, and all of its effects are live. Your fairy tale monsters cannot be destroyed in battle, so you literally have a way to pretty much out your opponent's entire board. It just depends on what they have and what deck they're playing. But for the most part, this is really, really nasty because again, it's Solemn Judgment, right? Like it's like if your opponent attempts to activate, let's say, Fusion Destiny to summon out DPE, you can literally just banish any. You can literally banish Fairy Tale Snow or any other Fairy Tale card, negate the activation, and pop it. And even if your opponent has a second one, Fusion Destiny's effect is a hard once per turn. So they're kind of shit out of luck with that one. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more cards. So next up we got Fairy Tale Wicket. Wicket? Wicket. I think it's Wicket. Which is a rank 4 Dark Spellcaster Xyz with 1850 attack, 1000 defense, and it requires 2 level 4 spellcasters, and the second and third effects are both once per turn. The first effect reads, Fairy Tale monsters you control whose original attribute is light are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Second effect reads, you can detach up to two materials from this card. Send that many Fairy Tale cards from your deck to the grave except Fairy Tale Tails. Third effect reads, if this card is in your grave as a quick effect, you can target one Fairy Tale monster you control whose original attribute is light, special summon this card, and if you do, send that monster to the grave. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's obviously, it's a good way for you to use this card as fodder to summon out Chronicler. You can summon Weaver. It's not bad. It's not bad. But also too, if you have this card plus Chronicler on board as well, literally you have double protection. Not only can you protect your monsters from being destroyed in battle, but you can also protect your monsters from being affected by your opponent's activated effects. So your monsters technically cannot be targeted whatsoever. So even if your opponent tries to activate Forbidden Droplet, it's not going to work. It won't work, and they basically wasted a Forbidden Droplet for nothing, which is crazy. Next up, we got Fairy Tale Long, Long Ago. Which, obviously, if you couldn't tell, is a quick play spell. And both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, Special summon up to one light fairy tale monster with different names, each from your hand to grave and or banishment. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except spellcasters. Second effect reads: if this card is sent to the grave except from the field or becomes banished, you can send it, but it cannot be activated unless you control a fairy tale monster. Literally, this is a way to force the opponent to waste cards like Harpy's Feather Duster. It's a way to force out their lightning storms, and because that you're special summoning from the hand, it can also bait out Ash, which is kind of crazy. And what's even more crazy is that we got the new OCG ban list not that long. I think just yesterday. I think it was just yesterday. Where is it? Here we are. January 1st, 2026, OCG ban list. This is literally the new ban list for the OCG, which could give us an idea of what to expect with the TCG ban list. So cards that got banned are Moon of the Closed Heaven, Splash Mage, number 41 Baguka the Terribly Tired Tapir, and Malice Red Ransom. Those cards are banned. Cards that got limited to one, we've got Ice Raziel, Maxi, Dracotail Mululu, Marshmallow Yummy, Snatchy, Pre-Preparation Rite, and Call by the Grave. Newly unrestricted, meaning I believe that you can use up use two cards. I think you can I don't know. I'm being real. The regulations in the OCG, I feel like are much different compared to the TCG. I just don't know why. But the cards that got newly unrestricted, meaning I guess like they're no longer banned, but they got taken off. They're now like limited to one, I guess. So we have Totally Awesome and Metamorphosis. The cards that got semi limited are, get this, Dominus Impulse, Solemn Judgment, and of all things, get this, you ready? Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash Blossom got semi-limited to 2, which means that it's not going to be long before Ash Blossom gets banned. In fact, honestly, we could see it get banned in the TCG, which I think it's bound to happen at some point. No one knows exactly when though. And then Sprite Starter also got semi limited as well. And then the cards that got taken off the list completely, we have Astrograph Magician, Eclipse Wyvern, Bestial Baldrake, Emergency, Pot of Desires, Purely Sleepy Memory, and Pressure Planet Raid Soth. So yeah, with Ash Blossom being semi-limited to 2, in the OCG, this card right here, Fairy Tale Long Ago, can actually bait out Ash. And if you have a second, and if you end up setting it to your board, excuse me, on your opponent's turn, if they have a second Ash, you flip it, you bait it, And if this card gets bashed again, you can set it, and then on your turn, if you activate it, guess what? Now they don't have a way to bring Ash Blossom back, and they're just screwed. So, kind of a good, really good bait for Ash. The back row removal, kind of crazy. Next up, we've got Fairy Tail Ball, which honestly looks kind of weird. Cute, but weird. Really weird. But there's the artwork, there's the card, and obviously you can tell it is the field spell, and it has 3 separate effects. The first one reads, when this card resolves, you can add 1 Fairy Tail monster or Fairy Tail tails from your deck or banishment to your hand. Second effect reads, your Fairy Tail monsters can attack directly. Third effect says, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster and you control a Fairy Tail monster, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and its name becomes Fairy Prince. So this can push for lethal if you have a way to out your opponent's entire board. So if you go Harpy's Feather, if you go Dark Ruler No More to negate all face-up cards that the opponent has, then go Duster to completely wipe out the back row. This card can literally threaten lethal and attack directly, which that right there is just crazy on its own. It can literally push for game. So kind of cracked, and also it's basically imperm in the form of a field spell, which is kind of cool. But that brings us to the last card of the video, and it is known as Tales of Fairy Tail. Which is an equip spell, kind of rare to see those in 2025. Well, now I guess 2026 would be the better term. The third effect is a once per turn. The first effect reads, the equipped monster gains 1,000 attack. Second effect reads, once per turn, you can fusion summon a spellcaster fusion from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Also, you can use any Fairy Prince your opponent controls. Third effect reads, if this card is in the grave, you can equip it to a Fairy Tail monster on the field. Then, after this effect resolves, normal summon a spellcaster with 1850 attack. So this is basically Super Poly in the form of an equip spell. So theoretically, you can use Super Poly in this deck, but the thing is that if you do run Super Poly, you would only need to run 2 copies, because you're already going to be running like what, 3 copies of the equip spell. So you basically have five Super Polys to go into your fusions, which is kind of insane. And I will say, with these new cards coming out in Blazing Dominion, the question becomes this, right? Can we see Fairy Tail Snow come off the ban list? And honestly, in my opinion, yes. I think we are going to be seeing Fairy Tail Snow come off the ban list, potentially at 1. And the reason why I say that is because we're already expecting the new ban list to come out relatively soon, where Yummy Mitsurugi will get banned. Raziel Mitsurugi will get banned. Draco Tail will get banned. And if I'm being honest, this has probably been one of the worst formats we've ever had in quite some time. And I know that because I've encountered a few of those decks at locals over the last few months, especially over the summer and over the fall of this year. That's why I've been mostly just playing Edison which also explains why I'm going to be going to the Collectible Exchange Edison tournament this Saturday at this Saturday in Rancho Cucamonga, to which hours before I leave, I'm going to be doing a quick little opening on Saturday morning of these. Yes, I did pick up 2 more of these from my partners over at Collector Store, so be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. And as always, by checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. The reason why I got these was because I couldn't get my hands on the legendary 5Ds decks. Hopefully Saturday when I do go, hopefully they'll have them, but we'll see. But we will have to wait and see. But get ready for that video. It's gonna be insane. I'm gonna have to do it pretty early in the morning, like around like 4:30 or something. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, I'm gonna be gone all day Saturday, to be fair. But anyway, Fairy Tail Snow coming off the ban list at 1. Draco Tail's gonna get banned. Mitsurugi, Yummy, all the decks that are in the format now are 100%, their main combo pieces are 100% gonna get banned. So once those get hit, the deck, all those decks are completely dead. And players are gonna have to find the next best thing, which could potentially be Dragon Rulers, it could be Blue Eyes, it could even also be Fairy Tail once Blazing Dominion comes out, but we will just have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.